Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have 3 articles here, and 2 are more important than the third one. But anyway, the first one is it seems like the Russians were able to push the entire front, or at least a big chunk of the front, more than 2 kilometers west in their offensive. That is breaking the front, they claim. The other thing is in Vuhledar, in Donetsk Oblast, the Ukrainians claim that they destroyed about 130 pieces of equipment, tanks and mortar launchers, and a big number of Russian naval special forces. That's what the Ukrainians are claiming. And the third article has to do with a general overview of the Ukrainian front coming from the Ukrainian side. So let's start with the first article. And the first article comes from Reuters, and this is the title: Russia's front in Ukraine moved 2 kilometers to the west in 4 days, Interfax. And it says February 13th, Reuters reports that Russian troops have managed to advance 2 kilometers, which is 1.24 miles to the west, in 4 days along the front line in Ukraine, the Interfax news agency reported on Monday, citing a statement by the Russian Defense Ministry. And I'm quoting, "The Russian servicemen broke the enemy's resistance and advanced several kilometers deeper into its echelons defense." And of course, the agency cited the report. And I'm quoting again, "In 4 days, the front moved 2 kilometers to the west." The entire front? I don't think so. There were no details which part of the larger front line, encompassing several Ukrainian regions in the country's south and east, has moved. Reuters was not able to independently verify the battlefield reports. Some of the fiercest fighting in recent months has taken place in Donetsk region in southeastern Ukraine and is partially occupied by Russia, and which Moscow wants to occupy fully. Valery Zaluzhny, Commander-in-Chief of Ukraine Armed Forces, said on Saturday that Ukraine's troops held defense along the front line in Donetsk, and in some areas have managed to regain previously lost positions. Again, where exactly? In Donetsk. So you see, Reuters is very keen, and for good reason, to point out, okay, well, you talk about front line, where exactly? But when here about, and he says, Reuters was not able to independently verify the battlefield reports, and he says there were no details which part. But when you talk about Valery Zaluzhny, it just, doesn't say the same thing. It's just some areas have managed to regain previously lost positions. Like what? Why don't you use the same thing? Reuters was not able to independently verify the battlefield reports. And the details, okay, it happened in Ukraine. Oh, okay, thank you very much. So that's the first one. Now the second one is this. The New Voice of Ukraine reports on Monday, February 13, 2023, Ukrainian troops destroy Elite Russian Naval Brigade near Vuhledar. All right, Vuhledar, I identify it to be here by Donetsk, the city of Donetsk, in this area right here. And on the map, I said not that one, Vuhledar, but it came with Ugledar. Probably that's the Ukrainian pronunciation, and is right here by Donetsk. So if you want to look at the front, it's in right here. Let's say a bit east, southwest, of Donetsk. And it's a long way to Zaporozhye. All right, so let's see what these guys are talking about. It's the third time this particular unit has suffered devastating losses at the hands of Ukrainian forces. Oleksiy Dmitrievitsky, head of the United Press Center of the Tavritsky district of Ukrainian Defense Forces, told Politico. And I'm quoting, "A large number of enemy forces, including the command staff, were destroyed near Vuhledar and Mariinka in Donetsk Oblast." He said that Russian forces were losing 150 to 300 Marines a day near Vuhledar. And I'm quoting, "The 155th Brigade already had to be restaffed 3 times," end quoted, he added. And I'm quoting again, "The first time after Irpin and Bucha, The second time they were defeated near Donetsk, they recovered again, and now almost the entire brigade had already been destroyed near Vuhledar. And quote, he estimated the brigade had about 5,000 soldiers. He added that the enemy had lost about 130 units of equipment, including 36 tanks over the past week. Well, the last time the 155th Brigade suffered such devastating defeat was close by Vuhledar near the village of Pavlivka, Donetsk Oblast in November 2022. So, all right, that gets me to remember, here is the Russians saying this, the Ukrainians zip it, the other ones, we don't have, we can verify that. You have the Ukrainians saying this, the Russians are zip it, the other ones don't even say anything yet. This article, the last one the second one that I covered, you can find it wherever you can find it online easily, because obviously it's a Ukrainian claim of successful operation against the Russians, so you're going to find it. You will not have any problems finding that one. All right, now let's go to the general situation from the front according to Ukrainians. This comes from the New Voice of Ukraine, February 13th, 2023. Russian invaders continue offensive operations in 5 areas, says General Staff. According to Ukrainian military, over the past day, Ukrainian forces repelled enemy attacks near Khrinikivka in Kharkiv Oblast. Now, I think it's going to be here. Kharkiv Oblast is this Kharkiv Oblast. Probably they somewhere here. And this is the Oblast Kharkiv that these guys are talking about. All right, and then it says Kremina and Bilohorivka in Luhansk Oblast. This one, the Luhansk Oblast is right here. All right, and then Vimika, Fedorivka, Vasyukivka, Bakhmut, Ivanivske, and Klishchivka in Donetsk Oblast. So Donetsk Oblast is below, let me just, right here, this is Donetsk right here, actually. All right, so let's go back to this. Let's put them one by another one so we know what's going on. And Zalizhny in Zaporozhye Oblast, which is much down here, Zaporozhye right here. So these are the offensive operations I'm guessing according to the Ukrainians. No significant changes and no signs of the formation of offensive groups were observed in Volyn, Polisia, Siversk, and Slobozansk areas in the north. And it says in Kharkiv Oblast and in Chervone. This is in the north, Kharkiv. Then in the Kupiansk and Liman, which are right here. Liman is right here, this area. So this is in Luhansk area, Luhansk Oblast. So in the Kupiansk and Liman areas in the east, the enemy used mortars and artillery to attack 22 settlements. So in Luhansk Oblast. In Bakhmut area, that's a little bit south, are in Donetsk Oblast, the invaders shelled 16 settlements with mortar, tanks, and artillery. In Avdiivka and Novopavlivka areas in Donetsk Oblast, 25 settlements came under attack, tank, mortar, and artillery shelling. So they are talking about this area right here. All right, let's go further in Zaporozhye. So we move down. So what they always do, they start talking about the front as north as possible. If something happened over there, like in Chernihiv, they go to here to Kharkiv Oblast, they go to Luhansk, they go to Donetsk, they go to Zaporozhye, they go to Kherson, and that's it. And usually they tell you how many offensive operations the Russians have opened or have them still open. So in the Zaporozhye area in the south, they give you about 15 oblast settlements, and as well as Nikopol in Dnipropetrovsk Oblast were shelled by the Russians. And Dnipropetrovsk is a little bit westward, is right here. This is Dnipropetrovsk right here. So it's close to, it borders Zaporozhye Oblast and it borders the Donetsk Oblast. So yesterday the Russians sent some drones from here somewhere to Dnipro, right here. And this about 120 miles, 140 miles or so, or 200 kilometers. That was surprising. Now, in Kherson area in the south, the city of Kherson, as well as 20 settlements, came under artillery fire. So that is right here on the bottom, Kherson. Here is the Dnipro River that cuts Ukraine in two. And here it is at the mouth of the Black Sea, the Dnipro River. So right near Kherson. I never heard lately anything about Mykolaiv. But anyway, here it is just shelling. So shelling. Here is offensive operation, and then shelling. So these are the three major developments that I found so far from yesterday until today. The general the summary of the front coming from the Ukrainians, then the 5 offensives reported, Russian offensive operations reported by the Ukrainians, and then according to the Russians, they broke the front, or they don't mention where, but they say they advanced about 2 kilometers westward. Now that's, as I said, along the front line, but they don't mention where. But that's fine. You don't have to say where and what so far. We're gonna find it later when they decide to let us know, or maybe they're just lying. No or no? Okay. Nobody lies over there. Remember that one. So, as I said, 3 of them. I know that the Russians, and you guys probably already know, they are supposedly in an offensive swing right now, and the Ukrainians are able to resist. I was looking in Bakhmut, the situation in Bakhmut. It's been reported that the Russians were able to advance towards Bakhmut and to continue to try to complete their encirclement of Bakhmut. That's all. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.